Hi, here's Joe, and I'm the VFX supervisor at CG Imagine and have worked in dozens of commercials and TV series during the last few years. I decided to create a series of tutorials focused on terrains. The main tool here will be Houdini, but in each tutorial I try my best to share as many different techniques as possible. The first terrain we will create a planet type, crater type, cliché stereotype terrain, if you know what I mean. Oh, and I'm not going to cover texturing at this stage because I want to cover as many different biomes as possible in the next few tutorials. So the focus is just the geometry of the terrain itself. But later on I will go into creating the textures and try to explain the best as I can and how to optimize it for Redshift and maybe to Octane as well. They're the main two renders that I use. And so this one, I just throw a fast texture. I didn't put a lot of effort just to look more interesting to present this tutorial series. So let's dive in. So let's take off and let's land right here in Houdini. Let's start with the traditional height field. Height field node, okay. As I like to work with the default size of 1000 by 1000, 1000 meters by 1000 meters. Let's put the resolution to 1. We can up-res it later, but I think 1 is good for now. And also the size of the terrain, I always like to start with the default size and then scale it depending on how it's going to fit our imagination or the demand is for the project. So yeah, let's put like a scatter node, and we're going to use the height field scatter in a different way for now. We're going to place it in here. That's too much, but if we change this to total point, we can control, and I think maybe 100 is good enough for us, 100 points. Let me place down a sphere. We are creating the craters. I want to place a lot of craters in this terrain, and I found that's a nice way of doing it. As usual, Houdini provides us several ways of doing the same thing. Some are going to help us further down the line. Some we can have more control than others. So this is the one that I like to work. So the primitive, I think maybe we can make these craters like, I don't know, we can start maybe with 5 meters for the craters. And here we can change this from 0.5, that means 2.5 meters, all the way to maybe to 4. We'll have a big difference between them. And I think we can put more, maybe 150. And relax the iterations more. I think also maybe we can make this like 10, so we have more distance between them, and also uncheck the keep incoming terrain, so otherwise this won't work. So if we place the HF mask by object, we can put the terrain in the first input and this in the second input, and then we have like these masks. So now we have, and if we check keep incoming terrain, it won't work, you see, because the terrain is still covering everything because the mask is this object. So if the terrain in here, that's the same thing of plugging this straight in here, you know. So just keep in mind that you need to uncheck terrain, so we have only these instances. And the good thing is that this can be a primitive, doesn't need to be a polygon, because it's just like the area of this that is masking. But we need something else, like we need the opposite of that, because we're going to extract everything else and keep this flat like that. So let's invert the mask, and let's blur the radius a bit. So I think maybe this is good. Yeah, we can always come back and change this. So now let me put like a HF noise, and let's mask with this. So, and instead of center the noise, let's keep this very low, just a tiny bit. So I think we can make this smaller, and let me increase the amplitude a bit. I think maybe, yeah, sorry, I messed up. Yeah, here we can see. Remember that there's going to be a lot of other effects that we're going to add on top of this, so you can always have these craters a bit bigger than you need, because when you're going to erode the terrain, you're going to lose a bit of this height. But 17 is maybe too much, like 10. I think it's good enough for that. Yeah, that's great. So let's do something else now. If we think about this sphere as 5 meters, what I like to do now, I want to add like a rim around these craters. So the way we're going to do this is with a torus, yes, this one. Because this one was what, like, sorry, 5, let's make the torus 5, I think 5 point, let's maybe 6, and see, yeah, you see here is how you're going to control this. So maybe 2, maybe 1, I think it might work for us like that. You can put down a merge, or it's not even like totally necessary, because you can see this in action in the terrain, but just to have an idea. So I think we can make it a bit smaller. This one, instead of 6, let's put like this 5.8, and we have a bit more intersection, but we're going to blur it anyway. The important thing now is that we use the same scatter, because we want to place one like this on every single point as the same as the sphere. So let me do this. Let's Control C, Control V. We can keep coming from that, but we can do just like that. And here, in here, so because it's the same, it's already unchecked, they keep coming to rain. So let's see what we get. Okay, so now we have all these crazy rings going around the terrain. You see, it's going like sideways because we have like match normal with terrain and match directions with slope. If we uncheck this, we get it flat. But we can see how it affects the masking. It doesn't make a lot of difference, because this is just the masking. And let's place another one, mask by object. Okay, of course I wrote it wrong. Mask by object. Okay, yeah. So we need to have like this in here and this in here. So now we see, yeah, now we have like this. And in this case, we don't want to add this to the difference. Oh yeah, I think, yeah, it's kind of misplacing it because of the noise. Yeah, let's see how it goes. And you see the difference is not too much of a difference, but we can just like blur a bit. Of course, we need to blur it a bit. Okay, like that. And now the only thing that is bothering me is that the placement is actually not correct. I think there is something wrong. That let me just uncheck this noise. Okay, so the noise is here. So we have like this is in the right place, the same place, exactly the same place. If we go from here to here, is in the exactly same place. But when we apply this, it's just distorting it too much. Maybe if we have like the center noise, it won't affect too much, but at the same time we need to increase it. Oh yeah, it's just changing it. it's almost working well. Now, yeah, now it's actually, for most of it, it's working well. So let's try it. So let's make like a not HF noise, and let's mesh this out. And now we see we have like these nice craters, but of course they're too big. So let me get it like to 50 first. Yeah, we have like this nice rim. Some of them, some don't, and it's going to be all distorted anyway. So I think we almost getting it like, yeah, I like it. So maybe if we reduce this, we can have even more variation, but for now we can have like this big element, so we have like these very defined rims in some of them, and I like it. I think it's a good place. Not a good place to live though. I wouldn't like to live in a place full of craters. Very hard to go out for a run. So let me go and yeah, let's clear this mask. I like to clear the mask from time to time. There is a height field mask. Oh, not this one. Sorry. It's a mask clear. Mask clear. Yeah. So we lose this. Okay. And now let's place a distort. Distort by noise. Oh, sorry. And here it's important to see if you want to play with the element size. This is, if I put a big one, we're going to lose the whole thing. So for this first one, we need a very small element size, but also with a very small amplitude. So something like, oh, sorry, I think, yeah, it's just a tiny bit of distortion, not too much. We can still see the craters here and in the edge. And in this part, if we have like a higher resolution, it's going to affect our terrain a lot. So if I put like this 0.5, making the grid spacing smaller, we have like more resolution. So you see we have a more defined distortion, and it's just more interesting. So you need to dial this according to your machine and how it can handle. Up to this point is okay. When you start to erode this and layer it on top of other things, then it might start getting a bit hard on the machine. So let's erode this, the first erosion layer. So to erode this, let's play, and yeah, let's go with the default settings for the, just to start. Okay, yeah, I like, but I also want to erode more as a thermal erosion than yeah. So let me we can play with the settings here, but we also have this other node that's called the erode thermal. This one is just like the settings that would here you can have like also a mask to erode just some parts, but you see I like this erosion in here. Oh, sorry. It just like it is not time dependent, but it just gives us some on the more vertical areas of the terrain. So yeah, I think it's good. And now we can place a normal. No, let's do something else. Let's start having the other element in our terrain, and then we mix everything together. So what I want to have, like it's we can start with the same height field, but instead I'm going to make like a HF pattern. That's also a good start for this. What happened? I think it's down here. Yeah, something went off. Okay. So We can keep the stars, but let's increase the size of the star. Maybe something like this. I think it's good. But I don't want something. Let me see if I can get like a. What is this? This is okay. Alright, not much. Actually, I want this to be instead of this, I want to be a mask, but no, I don't need to. Sorry, was my mistake. Yeah, that's what I want. But then I want to scale it a bit like this. Yeah, I think it's good. Okay, I think it's just playing with the shape a bit. So let's distort it also. Yeah, so don't have like this. Yeah, see, that's also a nice way of creating an island. There will be another tutorial to create an island, but this is just a good way to go. So let me do something. Here, the button position size, yeah. Here, I want to just get this one, the big one in the center. I think this one is good, maybe. Yeah, we can have like maybe this, just a bit of that. Yeah, that's good. So now we have like this mask. In this place, we can't blur. Post blur radius. I think we can. No, it's just like increasing. See, it's not blurring. It's just like taking away a bit of those edges, the sharp edges, and make it like more less jagged. So let's put like a mask blur, and let's blur down the radius a bit. Nothing too much. It's just like a tiny bit. Yeah. Something like that. So now I want to put down a noise again. Noise, yeah. This one, let's mask this. And I want to have this as a center noise, but with a smaller element size, need to come back in here. Yeah, it's starting to get nice. I like this. I just want, okay. I think we need to blur it more. I think blur, yeah. We need to soften a bit those edges. And I don't like this peak too much, so we can just offset it a bit in one of these direction. Maybe I want that one. If you want to bring it to the center, you just drag it in the direction, and here it is, you know, just because it's a word coordinate noise, so we can just bring it down to here. And now the amplitude, I think the elements, we can, I kind of like it, the element. I'm just thinking maybe 10. Yeah, that looks good. So we can distort it a bit. It's always good. Distort by noise. And there's two type of normal. I like to use this in 2 levels. So the first level is a very big element size, like 2000, and then you can just play, and it's just distorting the whole thing. So if you have like a bit of like a kind of a visual similarity in the patterns, it just distort the whole thing, and you lose a bit this kind of like pattern, especially if you're using, instead of using this noise like this, here we are using the spark convolution. If you use like a volley, for example, that's a very defined type of noise, with the distort, you go here, you see. Let me take away this so we can just visually see it. You can see it better. Yeah, you see, you just like you just distort. Oh, not this one. Sorry, is in here. This one. So you just like break a bit the pattern itself. So I don't want that. I want to go back with the sparse convolution. Um, Everything. So let me just go back because I like the way it was. Yeah, like that. So good like this, and this distortion is this big, but then I like to place another one, another layer. That's HF distort by noise, and this one is a tiny element size, something like more granular, and also with a smaller amplitude, just to break out. Oh, like 7, just to break out the surface a bit. We can erode these now, or we can erode these later. I'm going to leave it to later, and I think it's good. So let's put HF layer, because now we have like these two different terrains coming in. One is the crater one, and the other one is this mountain. And let's mix them both. So I'm going to place this in the one and this in the other one. And now what's happening is that this first input, and then there's this one coming from the second input. And when you look here, is replaced. But if I subtract, let me just, I want to subtract this one from this one. Yeah, that's what I want. Because I like the idea of having this big, like something like an abysm, like something, I don't know, that's, you can see, you can put like a station here observing what's happening inside this massive abysm. So it's a huge hole, and I really like it. Maybe I like this also in the sides. So yeah, at least that's how I'm going for. But you notice that like we have like all this uniform terrain here with this erosion here, but we don't have like a erosion to put everything together. And that's why I like to put like the erosion in different layers, because then we have all these, and you can kind of see that this is a different thing than all the rest of the terrain. So if we place erosion node in here, we kind of unifying the whole thing together. So I hope this makes sense to you. So let me just visualize compute range. I don't like to see like that. We can play with these colors later, so let me just do it now. So yes, compute range, I don't know, I think there is a bug or not. It's just because we have like this coming. Yeah, sorry, it wasn't a bug. It was just because we have the debris already from the thermal erosion. That's why we have like this darker area in here. I think this is good for us to visualize. I'm just going to darken this a bit so you can see a better visualization. And this one, I want to make it a bit more reddish, like yeah, something like that, just to visualize. I like to see the terrain. I'm going to take away this and take away this for now. It's just a distraction. I think it's good. So let's erode this. Because the height field erode node is a time dependent, we need to press play and watch it goes. The fact is, here is where if you have a higher resolution, it's going to take longer for it to erode. At the same time, if you have like a higher resolution, you can see more details in the erosion, and it's totally going to affect how the terrain is going to erode depending on the resolution. So at this point, it's kind of important to set how you want this to happen, because if you change the resolution later, it's going to erode differently. So just keep that in mind. I think it's good enough, like 24, 25. I think we got like a nice erosion on the terrain. I like this. I like the way it's happening in here. So yeah, it's looking great. So let's freeze it around 23 freeze. It's important, so now we can just play with this slider, and it's not going to recalculate all the time. One thing that's really important, save your work. and I didn't save mine. I'm glad it didn't crash. So next thing that I want to do, the idea of this series is just to show you different tools and just to hopefully make you think with different things with different techniques that can be used to achieve different results. So there is this free plugin. I think it's what is the name is. Let me find it here. So boom, 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 boom. Let me just JS placement. Yeah, that's the one. JS placement. It's a free software you can download going to their website, JS placement. Here there's different ways of generating height maps, like a black and white images that you can displace to achieve different looks. In this case, I want to go for the wire one. You see this one, and you're going to see what I have in mind. But I just want to have like my idea is to have like this terrain, and imagine like if you're looking from the air, and you have like a kind of this is all look organic, all look natural. But imagine that you're flying over this part and you want to see, oh, there is a not a human, but like there is someone that make something to alter this terrain. So that's my idea behind this. So layer count, let's drop it down. I just want a few of these, not many. Wires per layer can be like low. I think this. I think. Oh, you see, it makes a big difference. No, like 4. Yeah, this looks good. I want to have this one, yeah. Okay, so cardinal, conical. Yeah, I think this one looks nice. I want it to be thinner. Just want it to be thinner. And oh yeah, I like this. Yeah, this one looks great. So here I want to save my height map, and I want to save this in the terrain maps and wires out. Let me put like this, wires out, and save. So basically we have like now this black and white map with these lines. If we come in here, there is a node that's called a file, a height field file, and in this height field file I want to bring that map. So let's find this. It's in maps and wires out. So this is the map. So now let me just think about it, because we have this, we can mask this and work on that, or we can just see how it, you see, this is the height map, so everything was white is on here. We can play with the height scale here, so if you want more or less, you see. So let's keep like that. And the other way of doing it is like, if we have a look in here, is the type is height field. So we can also have this as a mask. And if we have it a mask, we can just add, for example, a noise on top of our terrain, like this one. And we can put like a noise. Sorry guys, I'm just like hesitating sometimes because I'm just thinking different ways of doing something, and yeah, there's different ways of doing it. What I mean is like I can do like this. I place this in here, and I mask with that one. You see, we have this effect, and then of course we can just dial it down. We can just, instead of centering the noise, we can make like this, like 5, just to give this irregularity paths that just did something to the terrain. Because we have this
going on here. Maybe what we can do when we don't want this to go inside the crater, maybe we just want this to go in the surface. What we can do, instead of putting it in here, we can come back to we can come back before we have this layer. Maybe in here we can just have it. Oh no, that's a messy thing. Oh, I don't want that. Sorry guys. Okay, so this one is going here, this one here, and then let's see. Yeah, you see we just have like this kind of these walls or something. I don't know what is happening. And now if we have this on the layer, we have it in here. Let me do it differently. So what I'm going to do, instead of bringing this as a mask, I want to bring it as a height field. And now I need to cancel this and have a look. So here what we have, and now we can just add this to our create like a layer. Layer, height field layer, and now we have like this thermal. I'm going to cancel this one, don't need that. And here is replace, but we want to multiply it, add, yeah, we just want to add this on top of that. And yeah, it just looks that someone made something here is not a natural thing, and that's my idea. So now we can layer this on top of the other one, and hopefully it's going to look better. Yeah, it's still going on, but I think with the erosion it's going to kind of lose up a lot of the strength on going inside this area. And let me erode. The thing is that now the erosion won't work because we have freeze, so just cancel everything. You need to unfreeze and press play again, and now it's going to erode a bit. If you don't want this to erode, you can place this after this erode node. You can just like put another layer one and just mix it afterwards. But the thing is that all depend on the story that you want to tell. If this is a long time in here, maybe you want to erode as much as everything else. Maybe if it's really new, you want to erode it less than everything else. So I want to erode this together because we have these lines going on, but at the same time, you can see that this is someone made this. Any creature, a man, maybe another species, made this. Is not, doesn't look natural, but at the same time looks part of the terrain. It's part of the earth. So this terrain. So let me put this to 22 and freeze. And yeah, we're doing good so far. Now I want to do something else. I want to create another mask, and let's put like a different mask, a mask by feature. Feature, yes, this one. You can play with the mask by feature, and what I want to have, like I want to have this slope. Let me just erase the visualization for now, so we can just focus on the mask. I wanted to have like just the more all the way to 90, and I just want the more vertical areas of the terrain. Yeah, that looks good. What else? Maybe we don't want in the bottom, so maybe we can compute the range, and maybe in the we can have like this going down a bit, yeah, like that, and soften that transition a bit. Yeah, that's good. So now we have this mask, and then we have like a HF terrace in here. We can add this one, and here, and let's see. Okay, so now we have like these terraces. I don't want to use them like that. Let's compute the range, and yeah, we can see it's only working the mask area. So let's play with the I don't want this to be very defined. And of course we can, when we erode, I'm going to have another layer eroding. You see, it's going to create a bit of that. So here, no ondulations. Yeah, I just want to break a bit like the regularity in here. Okay. So now that we have the terrace, we can put down a slump. I put slump. It just like it melts down, like it just creates this soften, like it just, how can I say, just accumulate a bit. It's good to make like a beach terrain, like when you have like this dirt that was eroded and just accumulate and make it like softer. This one spread rate can make it less. And now one thing also that you're visualizing it with the mask and just like just make it harder to see. So let's put a mask here. Okay, so yeah, we can see it better. And now we need another erosion. So let's HF erode. Because it was on the 22nd, it's going to erode all the way to the 22nd before we look to this. So I'm going to cancel it. I'm going to bring it to 1, recompute the range. I want to save it, and let's play and let's see it eroding a bit. I want to erode less now, so maybe on the 6th. I think this is good. Let's do the same thing. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see the water. You see, so the terrace just gave us a bit more variety in the cliffs. You see these edges, they look a bit weird. We can go back and see where it's coming from, but I don't like them like that. So let me see where, if they were already. Oh, so let me just freeze on frame 6, so we don't have this in here. Okay, so let me see in here. Okay, we don't have that cliff there. It's coming from the terrace. So yeah, I think this terrace are maybe too much. Maybe I want to fade more. Yeah, I like more like the cliffs now. I think it was too harsh on that area. Maybe what we need to do before this, maybe we need to blur the mask. Blur a bit. Okay, we have more blur. Now we can oh, this one. Yeah, maybe now we can have less fade because we blurred the mask, and that edge was because the mask was just like too hard on that line. So yeah, I think now we're good, getting good. Okay, this one, and finally this one that we need to recalculate. Okay, so not this one. Let's play for a moment, not much, just it eroding. Yes, that's great. Let's freeze frame 7. I think it's good, and we basically have our alien terrain going. I think it's nice. We have like a nice angles here. We can play, and this was just about generating. We can. I want to do other tutorials on texturing it, but for now, that's how far as we're going for this one. And hopefully it gave you different ideas to how to create different terrains. You can duplicate these and put one in the background. If you want the edges to be higher, so we have like you can have like a camera like this, and don't worry with that. You can also play both we can put like another terrain there, or you can just create another mask. And for example, you can just let me just see. Okay, yeah, let me do like this. If you put a box and make it like really big, so we need it to be on the x-axis like 1,000, because it's the whole terrain size, and maybe 100, and just so you can see it better, 50 on the height. So we have like this, see, but then we create a mask by object. Okay, so this one, let's put this in here, this in here. Let's visualize. Okay, so here is our mask. So in the blur radius, we want a very large blur, like, and I also want the box to be much bigger, like 400, and the center we also want it to be that edge, for example, just to give you the idea. And let's make the blur even bigger, like, so maybe 300 blur, so we have like this gradient coming in here. So, and now we can just we should probably merge this before everything, but I don't want to recache the road node. What I want to do is just to show you how you can place something higher there. We can put like a noise, HF noise, okay, like this one. So we can have like this, and here, and for this one I will use like something like that, yeah, but not this one. We want this to be higher, so not this one, maybe, yeah, I like that. I think this looks good, yeah, I think that's nice. So I distort by noise, and now it's going to be more visible what I meant there with the element size. If we have like this 2000 and we play with the amplitude, we distort the whole thing a bit. You see, just break down a lot of that that jagged look, just make it more organic a bit. And then in the other one we can make again the same distort, but then it's a different thing. We want like a smaller element, and this one, yeah, looks nice. I don't know if this would fit the terrain that we're building, but so we can just have a look. HF layer, and this one, when we place is going to be just the second one, but again we don't want that, so we want to add this on the other one. So because everything else was flat here, doesn't happen anything on the terrain, but now we have that, so we can just have our camera here, and maybe we have like more variety there. Let me see the noise here. If I want this to be more like this, maybe we can have like this giant, maybe 2000. Yeah, so we have like just like this, just higher. And if we add, we just gave us this hill on top of that, so we can have the camera there and doesn't feel like okay, that's the end of the terrain. Maybe this place keeps going forever there and we just can't see because of the hill. So if we lose the visualization from the road node, what we can do, there is a HF visualize. Oh, I think we still have the mask. We still look into the mask. So mask here. Yeah, now it's better. So it was okay, maybe this reddish tone there. Okay, so now what's good about it is that when you convert this to let me give it more variety so you can see it better. So here, maybe this one, and this one. Maybe this is too harsh. Just want to, yeah, just to break out a bit. Oh. Okay, so now if I put like a HF convert height field, when you place it in here, what you see, it's going to, there's something cool about it. Okay, now we have like this terrain, and we have like a dense mesh, and you can like bake point colors, and if you do that, you have like that colors from the visualize, they are baked into the point. So when you're going to texture it, even if you bring like a material and a photo texture, you can just multiply or add or to play with these colors to give variation and break the repetitions of your texture. So that's just a nice technique that you can use to make more variations in the texture. So hopefully you like this. I'm going to create the whole series of different biomes, different type of terrains. So this is a kind of a outer space, different planet terrain. And then I'm going to make like a different natural environments in Earth, like environments, like mountains, islands, beach, desert. I don't know. I'm going to go as further as I can teach about this, and in each one I'm going to use different techniques. So keep tuned. Please subscribe. I'm going to keep posting tutorials like that. If you want a specific type of terrain, let me know, and I will see if I can show you some ways of doing it. So thank you, and see you in the next time.